In 6 weeks, I will stand before my first classroom of students, and they will sit anxiously, like chicklings in a nest at the sight of morsels being dangled in front of their faces. They will be eager to consume the fruits of knowledge and understanding that molds and shape minds into dreamers. I want to teach them about protons, neutrons, and electrons. I want them to visualize the electrons orbiting around the nucleus, much like planets orbiting around the sun. I want to teach them about the periodic table and the trends with metals, semi-metals, and non-metals, and they will be able to understand and explain which ones are bigger or smaller or more reactive, and they will put together their own chemical reactions. And I will see their reactions. When they make things explode, illuminate, and move, they will think that learning science is cool. I want to teach them about scientific inquiries, theories, and laws, such as the law of conservation of energy, which states that energy is neither created nor destroyed, only changed, or the law of inertia, which states that objects at rest will remain at rest unless opposed by an unbalanced force. I want to teach them these things, but I cannot teach my students that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction, when there isn't anything equal and opposite about an unarmed black teen being shot and killed at the hands of public servants and not receiving any justice. I cannot teach my students these concepts in science, these theories, these laws, because they know that laws only benefit those who have the power to create them and only fail those who have the desire to change them. I cannot teach them about the history of our universe, the formation of our galaxy, or the stages of the evolution of stars, when the twinkle in the eye of a child face to darkens before they ever have the chance to truly shine. I cannot teach my students to shoot for the stars, because there is a thick cloud of smog hanging above their head like the torment of pollution hovering above a factory. And the more they aim, the more they jump, the more they try to rise, the more they suffocate from this thick cloud of educational inequity, gentrification, unemployment, health disparities, mass incarceration, oppression, injustice, and racism. And as they become trapped in this cloud, they yell, "I can't breathe, I can't breathe," but no one hears them. Which is why it seems that it's more important to teach our students to raise their hands before they speak, to use their technologies to record everything they see than maybe they will find purpose in anything that we teach. But we must not be naive and not recognizing and teaching the value of education. Nelson Mandela once said, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." So I will teach my students in a way that empowers them to use their education to challenge the world around them, to view their education not as useless concepts they have been made to memorize, but as the building blocks to create better conditions for themselves and the world around them, and ultimately to save lives. I will teach my students that perhaps Isaac Newton was right in saying that objects in motion will remain in motion unless opposed, because we know that the waves of injustice has set our nation into motion, causing a movement of teachers, families, students around the world mobilizing, marching, chanting, "Black Lives Matter," freedom for Syria, education, not deportation, love, not hate. And we must not allow people and systems to stand in our way, but we must create a way for our students to obtain an education in a world that has set up roadblocks in the way of our students' greatness. Students need to know that they can be anything that they want to be. So in 6 weeks, I know exactly what I'm going to teach.